Hi, travel with me through this experience. So here it is that the deadline for sending information to the chairman is 3 days before the board meeting. Okay. Susan is in charge of getting the information, the report out to the chairman. I provide information that goes into that report. Susan comes to me and says in an animated, emphatic manner, Trevor, are you aware that the deadline to get the report to the chairman is today for the close of business, and I have not got your input? What's the story? I step back and I'm unpacking the thought processes that I've been engaged with, and I'm now processing what Susan is saying to me. And then, of course, I have to work out my response to Susan. That clearly has taken too long for Susan. And she's saying, so what are you? Are you not responding? You know, I need to know what's going on. I don't want to get caught up into the hype. I sort of working out a response that with, the thing that came to mind would be to say, hey, calm down, Susan. But I've learned that telling somebody who is in an animated state to calm down only gets them more agitated. So I ruled that out, and I'm trying to find a response that would work. The delay is too much for Susan, and so she doubles down, and it's even more animated. And I'm told that she's not taking the responsibility, and she will let the chairman know where the problem was, why the report is delayed. As yet, we haven't sat down to discuss whether I'm going to get my input in a reasonable time such that the report could be done. We haven't had that discourse. All we have had is an animated assertion and a reflective response to the assertive, animated discourse. And so we haven't really discussed that. At this point in time, neither party has been engaged in when the report, what are the challenges, if there are challenges, how we can get it done. That dialogue has not yet taken place. But as it stands now, we have two parties engaged in a conflict. I am thinking all sorts of things. Why am I being approached like this? I haven't even had a chance to explain the situation. And obviously, Susan is mad because here it is that she's up against a deadline, and she doesn't know whether she will meet that deadline. And this individual that she's seeking to get the information from is unresponsive. Today, we want to expose the root causes of situations like that. We want to look at a perennial interpersonal conflict. This dynamic between dominance and steadiness, supportiveness, submissiveness plays out all the time. Hi, I am Trevor E.S. Smith, and I'm from the Success with People Academy, and I'll be your guide through the Success with People live cast today. So I must tell you up front that I have been doing this kind of engagement for over 2 decades working with teams. And this scenario that I just shared is a version of many such incidents. By the way, if just in my workshops, people have indicated that 3 individuals have indicated that that situation evolved into a situation in which they lost their jobs. They were fired for insubordination. 3, just me. So you can imagine what's happening out there. Right? So yeah, my thinking through the process as to what is an appropriate response then gets to the point where I'm saying, what's the point? I can't really communicate in this kind of environment, so I keep quiet. In that moment, my manager says, okay, that's insubordination. You need to spend your time elsewhere, Trevor. Interesting. I don't know if you have encountered this, but believe me, there are undercurrents of conflict that you would not imagine is taking place. Yeah. Okay. So the question though is, have we become too complacent? Do we just let this pass? Because conflicts, we say, are inevitable. Have we taken that position? So this is reality. Just let conflict win. Well, let me tell you, I have a different perspective. I am confident that some conflicts are preventable and that it is worth the while to work on preventing them. Locking horns is unproductive and I believe painful, psychologically at least. It will make a great deal of difference to our peace of mind and the whole team dynamics and to our productivity if we spend a little bit more time trying to understand the root causes of some of these conflicts. That's my task today. I will be here within 30 to 35 minutes. So please just set aside what it is that you're doing and just focus for a while. It might be worth your while. All right. So here it is. This is my task today. I want to get a campaign going to say, no, stop talking about conflict is inevitable and move towards conflict is preventable. Placard, conflict is preventable. Conflict is preventable. Preventable. Conflict is preventable. That's where we need to start to think. Move our minds to the point of, oh, what you expect? We are human beings. We don't see things the same way. Yeah, conflict is in it. No, conflict can be preventable. So, if we can move from that, then that's what I'm saying is that you can predict certain things. One of the examples is that you can know when a dog is likely to bite you because he's growling, as against one who's wagging its tail. We can know when rain is going to fall. There are a number of things that we go through in life that helps us to predict. We understand the signs. And I'm so suggesting to you that when it comes to interpersonal relationships, there are signals, there are signs that we can read. How much effort are you putting into picking up these signs, picking up these signals from your colleagues and others? So let us look at one pitfall, which is very similar to the scenario that I shared at the beginning. So if we think about these style behavior, so remember now that I am a proponent of the discerning communication model, right? Where we build things upon the DISC framework: dominance, steadiness, dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. So we build a whole body of knowledge around that classification of behaviors. So we have these 4 toolkits that we use to navigate through life. And once we go into those toolkits, there are telltale signs of the mindset, the behavior that goes with that toolkit. So if we go into the dominant toolkits, we're going to call this individual Devon today. So if we look at Devon's mindset, Devon is confident that the idea of communicating in an assured manner is a key to success. He has proven it over and over. If you communicate in a way that sends the message that you know what it is that you're talking about, and the information that you are presenting is, in fact, so, then people will tend to buy in. Yes, we have examples of it now all around us. We're saying the same thing with confidence, whether it is so or not, unfortunately, can in fact influence others to believe and to buy in. And so that is Devon's modus operandi. Speak confidently, speak assertively, and your message will get through. Keys to success. Now, amusingly, this very fact of being confident and assured and emphatic in your presentation can be a turn off. So a part of the audience might be saying, yes, Devon, we believe, we support you. Go, Devon, we are with you. There's another side of the audience that's saying, oh my gosh, why is he so cocky? Why is he so arrogant? Oh, I can't deal with this. Deal with that. Now, let me clear the table a little bit first. So let me tell you that there can be the Davids using the same D style who really overdo this display of confidence and can really, truly, honestly be deemed to be arrogant. There is also Don, who drinks his own Kool-Aid and actually believes that he has all the answers. And so he is impatient with anybody who would disagree or who would not follow his lead. Now, those are scenarios that we can clearly put aside to say, well, okay, that's overbearing. That's misuse of dominance. That's tending towards dictatorship. And of course, those scenarios must or ought to create conflict. All right. But put those extreme examples. Let's go back to Devon. All right. So here's the question now with Devon. This is the big pitfall. It's a style issue. Yeah. So Devon is of the opinion that I want to present in a confident way. Yeah? And so Devon actually speaks more emphatically than, for example, your S-style colleagues, which tend to be understated. As a matter of fact, one of the coaching that we have for S-style users is be less submissive, be more assertive. Yes, so that's it. So they would be understated. And so when Devon comes across in this definitive, assertive, animated ways, it makes the S-style colleague feel a little bit uncomfortable. And so the S-style colleague tends to be focusing on the body language and not so much on the content. Looking for tone, and they're looking for all of these factors that you might say are distractors, as against focusing on the content. So, in a sense, shouting is a no-no in terms of S-style behavioral ethics. You can't shout. That's not a way to communicate. sophisticated people do not shout at each other. So shouting is almost as if you're going to slap me in the face. So that's part of it. But here's the trick. Here's the trick. The shouting is not necessarily based on the decibel level. Yeah. A lot of quote unquote shouting can just be the body language, the tone, the degree of emphasis. So you can see then that behavioral preferences play a very significant role in either inducing or preventing conflict. So if we were to spend time understanding these nuances, we would be able to prevent a lot of conflicts that take place. Yes. So here is a root cause. I want us to look deeper at this because what I want us to do is to be able to step out of this little 30-minute discourse with solutions. That's what these live casts are about. Success with People live casts are always about identifying a problem and finding a solution. And so let us go deeper now. Just pull off wherever I'm not sure whether you are a D style user or S style or whatever. Just put aside your preferences and listen for a moment. Go with me. So here it is that we have Devon's natural style. This is how Devon is hardwired. Devon has learned that this is the way to navigate through life effectively. Yes? Be emphatic, be clear, and if necessary, be animated in your presentations. Get your message across with confidence. Let people see that you are clear and sure about what it is that you're saying, that you know the way forward, and that you are ready to lead or to go alone. But one thing is sure is that you know the way forward. You understand what's happening. You have answers. That's the message that Devon knows. That's how you have to succeed. You have to communicate in this kind of way. Now, animation is not to be confused with animosity, which is sometimes where the problem is that when you get animated, sometimes the feedback comes, why are you angry? Why are you shouting? Why are you me angry? What? Shouting where? So that's part of the challenge. So let me give you the 911 in this situation. This behavioral thing is very important, That's why I'm so excited to have spent all of this time, learning more and more from the experiences and getting deeper into an understanding of the behavioral styles. So here it is. So we're a D style user, Devon, it is, wants to emphasize a point. Wants to, it's critical now for me to get this point across. Devon tends to increase its intensity, and that intensity could also, yes, increase the volume, but also the body language and the tone. That tends to happen. That's how these style individuals feel, and function and navigate through life. The more emphatic, the more important a situation is the greater level of intensity in the communication. All right. Let's look at Sandy, who is going to be our style user. Sandy. When Sandy is getting increasingly upset or something, is bothering Sandy, and Sandy really wants to get the message across that she is not in a good place, Sandy's volume tends to go down. Sandy's intensity is in a kind of different mode, because what Sandy starts to do is to put space between her words. I did not say that, did I? Did you hear me say that? So then, why are you suggesting that I made that statement? That's it. It's a complete, you can see the difference. So one is getting more silent, getting toning things down, but it doesn't mean that Sandy is any less angry and upset with the situation. It's just a different way of navigating through life. And so we have to understand that these are preferences. Yes. And if you push, if Sandy is not getting through, Sandy might just shut down the communication. I'm out. Okay. All right. Thank you. I hear you. All right then. Not another word. I suggest that we invest time and resources in understanding our team members at a deeper level so that we can actually function effectively together with more harmony and prevent some of the conflict that you know impacts our lives. All right. So what are the implications for what I'm suggesting today? One of them is that if we look at the dynamic between the D style, the Devons, and the Sandys and the S style, we can see then that at any point in time, there's a threat of an impending conflict. Yeah. And there's no safe space. In any discussion, there can be a disagreement, and even if one steps back and doesn't, give an answer immediately, that could be the cause of a conflict. So we can see then that there's an issue, but all is not lost. There are solutions, which is why we are here. All right. So the solution that I'm going to put on the table might sound simplistic on the surface, but is really the answer. Yeah. And at its core, it's about really reducing the issue to how people prefer to behave. It's a matter of preference. That's basically what it is. You prefer a quiet, calm, discourse. Another person believes that by being emphatic and animated, the message will be better received. That's it. It's a choice. Yes. So these are not matters of life and death. It's a matter of personal taste. Feelings have come into play. And are we willing to manage our feelings in order for there to be harmony? Should we really stop talking to John because John actually puts sugar in his coffee? Oh my gosh, how could anybody talk to somebody who does something like that? So that's it. It's a matter of feelings, a matter of feelings. You feel this way, I feel this way. Can we all get along? So the real solution for us is to focus on the substance. What is it? So go back to the origin. Is the report going to be ready? What are the challenges that we're having here? Yes. Put aside the styles, how whether the person's animated, the body language, the tone, put that aside. But also for you who are coming with this tone and this body language, understand that it might turn off the other party. So put it aside, no man. Put it aside. Just approach them in a calm way. However, I'm a little concerned that we might miss the deadline with the report. Where are you? Can you talk to me a little bit? Let me see if I can help you. Could that be a better approach as against her? So that's all I'm saying. Both sides need to look at their preferred behavioral styles and find a way to make the communication work. So if Susan has forgotten, and because of the tension, she comes and she's a little overbearing. Come on, then, Trevor, understand, man. Said Susie, hello, watch out. Easy, Susie, take your time. I know that you are concerned, but let's talk about this in a calm way. That's what I'm saying. Let's both sides move together. Then that we stop fomenting problems when they are none. It's just a preference. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully. So what is the bottom line here? Behavioral styles play a critical role in either fomenting, inducing, or preventing conflict. And the answer really is for us as individuals to separate the substance from the style, man. Forget what's all of the distractions and what is the core. What are we talking about? What are the issues here? And so we need to step out of our comfort zone. This is how we like to perform. This is how we like to communicate. But in this instance, I might need to be a little bit more understanding. In this instance, I might need to change my style because it might not land well with this individual. That's the way that we get more productive and find harmony in our relationship. Just step out of your style in order for this communication to work. That's what I want to suggest. So here are some takeaways from me. Conflicts, yes, are a part of reality, but they can be prevented. So at its core, some conflicts are really just a matter of feelings, personal preference. I like it this way. I want sugar in my coffee. You don't want it. Yeah. So I like to communicate this way. You want it in another way. So there are. So when there are no issues of substance, man, when there is not any real genuine problem, let's just find a way to just adapt our style to facilitate meaningful discourse. Let me tell you something. I've been doing this, as I said, working with teams for a couple of decades. Let me give you a quick insight as to how an intervention could take place. Just for your information. All right. So the first thing we do is that your team leader or your HR manager, talent, whoever it is that's responsible for learning and development, will say, hey, we have a team, we have this issue, we have this dialogue. What are your perceptions as to the cause of the problem, the root cause of the problem? What is that you would want from the intervention? So we agree on that. We then send out links to have the individuals answer a questionnaire so that we can get a behavioral profile on them. So we get this extended this behavioral DNA assessment done depending on the roles we have, we customize it. So we get the information on all the team members, and then we create a team map so we can actually look at the team and to see where people are on the team map and how the team is aligned with the task, etc. And then, armed with that information, our experts going, I actually lead a lot of these sessions myself, going and we have the session. So the first thing we do then is to debrief the individual so they understand the behavioral assessment, understand themselves better, because if you understand yourself better, then you can actually be able to communicate more effectively with others. So we have individuals then fully understand who they are. They look at the team, they can see where other members of the team are, and immediately when we put up our team maps, people are saying, oh, that is why I'm having the problem with Sandy. And that is why Susan has an issue with Mary, whatever. So it's there. And then we start then to go through the whole process of the discerning model of communication and leadership, where we actually teach people how to read behaviors, if you want, how to identify behavioral styles, and how to respond effectively to them. That's something that can be done in a day in terms of the interaction. So the assessment is done, the team maps are done, and then we go into it and to say, all right, how are we going to diffuse conflicts? How are we going to find a way to enhance team dynamics so that the team can perform at a high level? Something that can be done happy to discuss it with you. You know, no holds barred. I mean, if you want no commitment, let us just talk about it. If you have a team that could benefit, and I would believe even high performing teams can benefit because conflicts are a part of the reality, but they can be um, prevented. So, what are the next steps? I would suggest that you review this as live cast, and then let's have a conversation. Invite me to work with a pilot team so you can see how how this works. Yeah, just try it. See what happens. Let's have a conversation at least. So you can reach me at info@successwithpeople.org, or you can just come direct. Send me a WhatsApp message, 876-535-6677. By the way, these live casts are available on YouTube. There we go. YouTube at Extended Disk Solutions. So many of these live casts are there and they are useful. So you, in your spare time, you can go and watch them. Uh, so who are we? We are the Success with People Academy. We're a part of the InfoServe group, and we are actually SHRM recertification providers. What does that mean? That means that when we do training, for example, we can give you professional development credits that you can use um, in your recertification for SHRM CP and SHRM SCP awards. And effectively, what that means is that we function at internationally high international standards, such that SHRM could actually recognize our professional development credits. And we deploy our discerning model of communication and leadership, and also our REAL leadership framework to help individuals, teams, and their organizations to be more productive, to be less conflict ridden, and to actually perform at a very high level. And of course, we provide yes, granular behavioral DNA assessment, psychometric testing, if you want to call it that, from Extended Disk on the Revolutionary Things platform. So we do things with recruitment, give you greater insight as to how to hire so that you don't have to terminate immediately after. And we work with leaders and teams. Let's have a conversation. That's the bottom line. Thank you for your time. And look forward to seeing you next week. We're going to look at some more conflict issues in the next Success with People live class. Thank you. I'm Trevor E. S. Smith.